Alright, training camp is officially here, and it is time to look at the 4 veterans whose jobs are in serious jeopardy as the Seattle Seahawks prepare for the upcoming year. Uchenna Nwosu, Ty Okada, Drew Lock, and Christian Haynes are all fighting for their futures this summer as younger players push for their spots. It is a massive reality check that even established veterans are not safe when the team prioritizes future potential. This situation boils down to 2 things: the immediate roster moves confirmed by the coaches, and the long-term impact on our championship depth. We have plenty to unpack today. Smash that like button, subscribe, and drop your name and city below, because we are pushing for our first 1,000 subscribers to keep this community growing. Let's break it down. Training camp has officially arrived for our Seattle Seahawks as veterans report to join the rookies. But the excitement of a new season brings a nervous tension regarding the roster. We are currently tracking 4 veterans who find their standing in jeopardy, with edge rusher Uchenna Nwosu leading the conversation. Nwosu has been a reliable, serviceable presence since 2022, but with an expiring contract and injury history, the coaching staff is rightfully eager to test the upside of 4th-year player Derek Hall. While his talent is clear, the organization is looking toward the future, and this potential shift in defensive rotation has sparked significant concern among our fan base. Fans understand that production matters, yet seeing a proven veteran potentially pushed aside for younger depth creates an anxious atmosphere as we evaluate the long-term vision of this championship squad. And honestly, it is not just the defensive front that has us worried, as we are also looking closely at safety Ty Okada, who faces pressure from rookie Bud Clark, and a quarterback room where Drew Lock is fighting to hold off Jalen Milroe. Finally, the guard position is undergoing a total shakeup, as Christian Haynes is now a legitimate cut candidate after struggling to secure a permanent role over the last 3 seasons. With a dead cap hit of only $260,000, the front office is clearly prioritizing efficiency over legacy status. The looming question that keeps us up at night is how these veterans will handle the pressure of these direct challenges during the grueling practice sessions ahead. Are these roster moves a calculated sign that the coaching staff is ready to abandon veteran security for younger potential? Or are we simply witnessing a necessary wake-up call to push our established stars to reach a higher level of play before the real games begin? The most surprising development heading into training camp is the vulnerability of our established veterans as the coaching staff aggressively prioritizes long-term upside over proven experience. We are witnessing a clear shift in philosophy where even reliable contributors face an uphill battle to keep their roster spots secure. For players like Christian Haynes, the struggle to solidify a position over 3 seasons has made his departure a fiscal reality, as the team would only incur a dead cap hit of $260,000 by parting ways. This is a cold business calculation designed to integrate younger prospects like Bryce Cabeldue or Mason Richmond into the fold immediately. And I cannot stress this enough, the decision to evaluate Derek Hall over Uchenna Nwosu is about maximizing potential rather than strictly judging past production. Nwosu has provided solid service, yet his injury history and expiring contract naturally force our front office to weigh the future against current stability. Behind closed doors, Mike McDonald and the leadership team are surely looking for players who fit their specific vision for this upcoming season, rather than settling for what has worked in previous years. This approach mirrors times when we have moved on from aging veterans to refresh the squad, often leading to mixed results that define our team history. Meanwhile, the competition at backup quarterback between Drew Lock and Jalen Milroe remains under a microscope after Lock displayed inconsistent ball security during recent summer sessions. If we look at how other franchises like the Bears have navigated roster turnover, it becomes obvious that maintaining a winning culture requires difficult, sometimes painful decisions regarding veteran players. We must prepare ourselves for the possibility that some familiar faces will not be on the final roster when the season officially kicks off this fall. Now here's the thing, transitioning from the official roster announcements into what these moves actually mean for our squad reveals a high-stakes summer. We are watching a clear shift in philosophy under coach Mike McDonald as the team prepares to defend our Super Bowl title. This matters right now because the front office is aggressively clearing the path for younger talent to prove their worth before the regular season begins. Specifically, the roster is tightening up, With veterans like Uchenna Nwosu and Christian Haynes facing real pressure to justify their spots against emerging players like Derek Hall and various interior line prospects. With Haynes representing a manageable dead cap hit of $260,000, we should expect a lean, highly competitive training camp environment where seniority carries less weight than current production. This change directly impacts our depth chart, ensuring that when we face critical divisional matchups against the San Francisco 49ers or the Los Angeles Rams, our roster is not just experienced but also hungry and versatile. The competition at quarterback between Drew Lock and Jalen Milroe is particularly vital, as finding a reliable backup is essential for maintaining our playoff standing during a long, grueling schedule. If our younger defensive pieces like Bud Clark can surpass Ty Okada during these camp sessions, it signals that our secondary will remain a top-tier unit, despite the departure of Kobe Bryant to the Chicago Bears. Ultimately, these calculated risks reflect a team that is not content to rest on past accomplishments. By forcing these veterans to compete, we are hardening our squad against potential injury attrition and building a resilient roster capable of navigating a repeat championship run. This is a cold business, but it is exactly the type of aggressive roster management required to stay ahead of the competition in the modern NFL. Training camp brings a distinct urgency for the Seattle Seahawks as several veterans find themselves in precarious positions regarding their standing on the roster. The most intriguing scenario involves edge rusher Uchenna Nwosu, whose reliable production is currently being measured against the high upside of fourth-year pass rusher Derek Hall. While Nwosu brings proven veteran stability, testing the potential of a player like Hall is a logical step for our team as we look toward the future. The counter-argument is that moving on from a proven commodity carries significant risk, especially given Nwosu's best statistical output since 2022. Across the league, scouts are closely watching if secondary battles involving Ty Okada, Bud Clark, Drew Lock, and Jalen Milroe will shift the depth chart permanently. And this is the part that gets me as the pressure mounts for Christian Haynes to secure his spot against young challengers like Bryce Cabeldue or Mason Richman. If Haynes continues to struggle in his pursuit of a consistent rotation role, his minimal dead cap hit of just $260,000 makes him a prime candidate for a roster move. Here is where I land on this. While it is easy to get swept up in the excitement of drafting new talent, the narrative that a veteran like Nwosu is expendable feels slightly overblown given his recent contributions. Replacing seasoned production with unproven potential is always a gamble, and I believe we should prioritize maintaining a balance of experience and fresh energy. The competition at the backup quarterback position between Lock and Milroe is equally vital, particularly because Lock's recent turnover issues during minicamps have left the door wide open for the younger player to overtake him. Ultimately, our coaching staff will have to decide quickly if the upside of these young prospects outweighs the comfort of having reliable veterans holding the line for another year. When we synthesize the arrival of training camp with the looming roster decisions, the message is clear. The Seahawks are aggressively prioritizing long-term upside over veteran comfort to maintain their championship status. This direction signals a calculated shift toward building a deeper, more sustainable foundation that can withstand the inevitable wear and tear of a grueling season. Fans should feel genuinely encouraged and optimistic because head coach Mike Macdonald is showing a rare commitment to true competition, ensuring that every player earns their stripes regardless of tenure. Here's the thing nobody wants to say, but the reality is that high-priced veterans like Uchenna Nwosu and Christian Haynes must now outperform hungry young talents to keep their spots. This competitive environment creates a sharper, more focused team that will be ready for any challenge in the coming years. While change can be unsettling, it is the hallmark of a front office that refuses to settle for stagnation. We are watching a deliberate evolution of our personnel, where youth like Derek Hall and Bud Clark are being fast-tracked to maximize their potential before their rookie windows close. It is a brave approach that rewards merit and keeps the energy levels high throughout the roster, which is exactly what a winning culture requires to sustain success. Looking at these specific position battles, which veteran on this list are you most concerned about losing their job before the season opener? Uchenna Nwosu, Ty Okada, Drew Lock, or Christian Haynes? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. We are still pushing toward our first 1,000 subscribers, and every one of you helps us get there. Go Hawks! I'll see you in the next one.